Hey there, are you on a path of personal or professional development, and do you feel like your interactions with others aren't as impactful as they could be? Especially if you're trying to give people value and help them out using your gifts and superpowers. Are you wanting to make that greater impact and leave lasting impressions with every single interaction, every single conversation, so that it deepens those relationships? If so, then you are in the right place. Today, I'm going to share 7 secrets that can supercharge, turbocharge, whatever you want to call it, your engagements and interactions with others using your gifts and superpowers. So whether it's in your personal life or professional life, these tips can help you to create more meaningful connections that truly resonate. That's one of the core principles of the giver method. Part of becoming a giver is the letter E, because giver is an acronym, and E stands for engagements and effective engagements, and that people are eager to show up to those engagements. So it's definitely focused on the interactions you're having with others when you're trying to give your gifts and provide value to others in them. These skills are truly important whether you're on a personal development path or a professional development journey, whatever that may look like. Up-leveling these skills using your gifts and superpowers are going to help get you to where you're wanting to be, help you to become who you're trying to become. At the end of the day, you have to find ways to have these effective engagements and interactions while trying to deliver that value. And in reality, if you haven't realized it already, the world, the universe, everyone around you in your life, they are waiting for you to become a giver and an impact maker using your gifts and superpowers. Sometimes people just need that call from the universe to take that next step forward. So if you haven't started down a path of professional or personal development, maybe this is that call to you to start taking steps today. Now we talk about becoming a giver, which is based off of the book that I'm writing called The Giver Method. And so the Giver Method is completely focused on helping you to develop your gifts and superpowers, then identifying the right people who you can have influence on and have intentional and impactful influence and interactions with. Then, how do you take those gifts and superpowers and deliver value to those people that's so clear and crisp and beautiful to them, and you do so without asking for anything in return? And focused heavily on then how you add that to daily interactions and engagements that you have. The outcome of it is that you're going to see that you're going to have improvement in what we call relationship riches. So whether you're on a personal professional development, you're going to have relationship riches in your personal or professional world, spouse, partner, kids, siblings, parents, whatever it may be, coworkers, bosses, employees, whatever that may look like. You will see more relationship riches come from those and deeper connections come from them. I always like to say that when you identify that you have multiple gifts and superpowers to give, and you give them without asking for anything in return, that the universe has a way of paying you back. It's not immediate. It's not like a this for that. But every person that I've worked with on these principles notice the ways that the universe starts paying back once they start taking those gifts out into the world and trying to make a greater impact. Once you become a giver, truly, you impact lives. Using those gifts and superpowers, you make greater impact, better connections, deeper fulfillment to what you want to be. If you haven't done so already, hopefully you can subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, share it with someone who may need it. You can check us out on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, or at thegivermethod.com. Now, as we get ready to dive into these 7 secrets that are going to supercharge your engagements and helping you use those gifts and superpowers as a part of that, I want to at least share one quick opportunity that we have right now as a part of the Giver Method. We are currently looking for 5 people who would like to join our online group workshop called the Giver Academy. Now, it's going to be 8 weeks long, and it's going to be online delivered with me, coaching you through different aspects of the Giver Method. So it's perfect for anyone if you're like, look, I want to take this to the next level, and I want to truly become a giver and an impact maker. If so, then this is going to be a workshop for you. We're going to dive deep into developing your gifts and superpowers. We're going to talk about moving past fears or obstacles that hold you back. We're going to look at how to create more value using your gifts and superpowers, how to connect with others better, put you on calls with other people who are like-minded, and get lots of personal attention from me as a part of that. So if you want to unlock those superpowers and make the impact, then all you have to do is send an email to info@thegivermethod.com. and then just put in the subject line, I'm ready. If you do that, we'll send you an email back with all the details, how the program works, stuff like that. Now, if we want to get full impact out of these 7 secrets that are going to supercharge engagements, of course, using gifts and superpowers, like that's the whole premise of this idea, we have to remember 3 principles. So these 3 principles, we want to make sure we've worked on these first, and then we can use the 7 secrets to really turbocharge things, okay? So let's dive into what these 3 principles are. We'll cover them really, really quick. If you follow the channel, these should come as no surprise to you because they're usually 3 things that come up that I talk about all the time. So principle number 1 is going to be, you have to know your superpower. You have to know what your gifts or superpowers are. In order to have effective engagements, you must understand what makes you unique, what your gifts are, your talents, those superpowers, right? So it could be that you are great at being an active listener, you've got great empathy, you've got the ability to break down complex problems, whatever that thing may be, you have to know what it is because it's the foundation to make impactful interactions. So if you haven't already, take a moment, get out a piece of paper, and write down your top 3 strengths, your talents, the things that could be gifts or superpowers, okay? And then make those be the core of what you're trying to give to others. Principle number 2 that we cover in a lot of the videos is going to be, you have to practice active listening and empathetic listening. You have to be engaged. You have to have, truthfully, it's one of the most powerful tools that you're going to have in interactions. And so if you don't have that, if you don't know how to do that, it's something I've had to work on for years and I'm still not great at it. You have to be able to listen through the lens of the emotions that they have inside of them and be focused on them and not on you. So what you can do here, if you haven't already done this before, is the next conversation you have or the conversations you have throughout the rest of this day, focus on understanding the other person's perspective before you share your own. Think about if you can identify their emotions, both like what they're showing and maybe what's underneath. See how it changes the dynamic of the conversation. And the 3rd principle that, once again, is kind of core, is tailoring communication styles. Not everyone talks and communicates the same way. And so when we talk about engagements or creating value or interacting with people, having impactful interactions and such, you have to be willing to change up how you're communicating. Sometimes you need to talk big picture. Sometimes people only need a little bit of it. So start observing communication styles and preferences. Like, how do some people engage more or seem more active in the conversation based off of the type of communication you're doing? So you always want to do these first if you haven't already. Like, they are going to be key to what it takes to use the 7 secrets we're going to cover. So when you're ready to fully utilize them, then we can dive in and say, hey, great, now let's go on. So let's cover secret number 1. Secret number 1, as it pertains to supercharging your ability to have impactful interactions and engagements using gifts and superpowers, is that you, number 1, have to create a safe and trusted environment. Like, this just seems like it should be understood, but trust is the bedrock of any meaningful interaction, engagement, relationship. You build trust. You have to be reliable, keep promises. You have to communicate openly. When people are going to trust you, they are way more likely to open up and be to a deeper level and be more honest with what they're trying to do. So an action step that you can be here is that you want to make sure you're having an open dialogue in your next engagement, interaction that you have with someone. Try and make it a judgment-free zone where everybody can share freely, and make sure that they feel like they've been heard. Secret number 2, you have to be present. Like, you have to be super intentional with your presence and how you show up. Like, today's world it's all about having to be fully present with your gifts and superpowers. So when you are engaging in any sort of a conversation, you need to put away distractions. They're all around us. Make eye contact with the person, which is something I struggled with for a long time, and you really have to focus on the person who is in front of you. Don't be thinking about what to say next. Don't let the things around you distract you. I have a lot of things here in my office that can be distractions. Make sure that you try and stay focused on them as a part of that. That presence is going to show that you value the other person and that you're here to stay. So the action step that I would say here is, the next time you are having an engagement, an interaction, a conversation, whatever you want to call it, put your phone away. Shut the computer screen down. Like, lock your computer screen. Make sure that you're fully present with them. It enhances that interaction. I oftentimes will have people come pop into my office asking me questions, and I have to honestly like pivot and turn and look all the way over so that I'm not trying to talk to them and like try to look back and forth, because I know that that's going to give off a sign that I'm not engaged with them all the way. So put away whatever the distractions may be and be fully present there with them. Secret number 3, you actually have to use your gifts and superpowers to add value. It's not just about the engagement. It's not just about the interaction. It's taking whatever you have and applying it in that scenario. Your superpowers, your gifts, they are meant to be shared. So if you have knowledge or a skill that can benefit somebody, offer it in ways that provides value that's not overwhelming, because we can do that sometimes. And so you can enhance those interactions, not dominate it. So the action step here, or the thing that you could go do, is make sure that you write down with your knowledge, your skills, your gifts, superpowers, what are the ways that you think you could give them in a way that's not overwhelming, but is going to provide value to them. Find ways to do that in the interactions you have throughout the day, whether it be with family, friends, coworkers, someone at the store, whatever that may look like. Secret number 4, you must be authentic and vulnerable. We talk about this throughout the book. We talk about this through multiple videos we do. Authenticity is so key to building strong connections with people. Be honest about what your strengths are. Be honest about what your weaknesses are. Don't be afraid to share stories about struggles, experiences that can relate to the conversation. When you're vulnerable, it creates a deeper bond. I oftentimes will share things that I'm like, gosh, I don't feel great telling you this, but I know that right now this is what you need to hear, because it's going to make a change for you. And in that moment, having people to see through that lens, oh, you've been in my shoes, you've been where I'm at. So be vulnerable, be open. Watch how it deepens the connection with you. So action step, next conversation, how can we make it more personalized? How can we be more just us in that moment and not try to put on a representative of who we think we should be to that person? Secret number 5, you have to focus on positive energy. Like, your attitude sets the tone for interactions. You have to have a positive outlook. You can't be negative. You have to bring positive to the engagement, because there's so much negativity around us. So encourage people, bring humor, optimism, and whatever the thing is that we're trying to do, because positive energy is contagious. It just is. Negative energy can be even more contagious. So you're combating that in the interaction and in that person's moment throughout their day. So stay positive. So if you were to take an action step, next interactions today, throughout the day, find the ways to put positive focus on the thing. What's the positive observation? How can we complement each other? What's the way that we can enhance the interaction in a positive way and set a mood that lifts everybody up? Secret number 6, you must be open to feedback. Like, feedback you should look at as a gift. So whether that's from a colleague, a friend, a family member, a mentor, whatever that may be, like, you should regularly ask for feedback on what you could be doing more, especially in interactions you have with others, when you're trying to understand their perspectives or where you could improve that communication. There are times that my wife and I will have discussions, and I, she will say, we can't talk this way or say that way, or I'll say, like, hey, when you say this way, here's what that does. We just have to give feedback and provide, and know that from an open, honest space that we can grow from that together. It will help every interaction you have. So your action step here is, after an important interaction, feel free to ask the person, like, how'd you feel about this? Like, now that we've gone to the other side, what could I do better next time? And be willing to take that feedback. And secret number 7 is going to be follow up and staying connected. When you have an effective engagement with someone, it isn't just about that moment. It's about building long-term relationship and long-term connection. So don't let it just fall by the wayside. You need to follow up after important interactions with people. And especially as you've overcome something, you want to maintain that connection over time. So your action step here is going to be, after, like, the next meaningful conversation you have, which I don't know if that might be today, it might be tomorrow, it might be later this week, whatever it may be, make sure that you send some sort of a follow-up after. Hey, I just want to touch base again on that. Thank you for sharing with me, and I look forward to whatever that may be. And so those are the 7 secrets. Remember that enhancing engagements, interactions, conversations that you have with others, it's not about perfection. We're never going to get to perfection. These are things I teach people and I struggle with all the time. It's about being authentically you and using your unique gifts and superpowers to make those meaningful connections. If you implement these 7 secrets, you're going to start to see a difference in how you interact with others, how they return to you what they're saying, how deep those connections are, and how much more you can develop the gifts and superpowers you have as you're trying to up-level yourself. If you found this video helpful, once again, please subscribe, like, follow, comment, share it with someone who may need it, because there are a lot of people who need to hear these types of messages. If you're ready to take the next step on your path in your personal growth journey, whatever that may look like, if you're going to up-level that, then let me remind you that we have that 8-week Giver online group course workshop that's going to be starting. So if that's something that you're interested in and you want to know more details about, then all you have to do is send an email to info@thegivermethod.com. In the subject line, just put the words "I'm ready." This is your chance to dive deeper into Giver Method, overcome the obstacles, create more value for people, be around like-minded individuals. So if you want to go down that path to become a giver and an impact maker, this is your chance. Remember that you have these unique gifts and superpowers, and the world needs them right now. They truly do. So stop procrastinating and start making the impact that you were born to make. Hopefully you found this video useful. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've liked, subscribed. You go check us out on all the other places, thegivermethod.com, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it may be. Until next time, keep giving, keep growing, keep making an impact. Believe in yourself and who you are working to become, because the world needs you to be there. I want to see you get there. We'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.